Hello and welcome to the Virtual Racing League. Tonight from Dover International Speedway. 150 laps tonight from the Monster Mile. Who is going to take home the victory as Dave Ferris slams the inside wall here in the practice session. Just about a minute left for these drivers to get prepared for their qualifying session. And right now, Dylan Parker is the fastest car on the racetrack with a 21.696 second lap. In second, it is the 18 of Alek Martinez in the Ford Mustang, which he thinks brought him good luck last week. The winner from Michigan to open the season up. We'll see if he can go back-to-back here in race number 2. And as always, we do have stages in tonight's event. The only stage being at lap 50, so the driver's going to try and race for points there. The top 8 earning stage points. And then they'll race it out to the end. We want to welcome you here to V-Speed and thank you for joining us tonight. And hope everyone has had a great day and a great week so far. As these drivers just 10 seconds left to get into qualifying session. You see Keith Mayato up here 6th. Fastest on the board right there behind him. That is the number 70 of Lyle Sulfridge out here on the racetrack as we are now wrapping up here in the practice session. Take a look at where these guys end up. Bring up our qualifying ticker, and that resets. Drivers headed to the racetrack to qualify. Jeremy Miller, first car on the track. We'll see how he does. The number 30 machine, very reminiscent of the Lightning McQueen paint scheme. We pointed out Jeremy has FCP Euro on the back of that race car. As he gets very loose on his outlap here, he's going to tag the wall and most likely reset. Let's go to another driver on the racetrack. That is Keith Mayato. We also have Safe Ferris, Yusuf Ghali, and a handful of others out here on the track at speed. Take a look at what Keith does here on his hot lap as he comes to the start-finish line. Green flag for him in the air. Let's take a look at the track conditions as well today. 71-degree air temp and 111-degree track temp. You can see that track temp really playing a factor as Keith really loose out of turn number 2, and he's going to have to cool those tires down here in 3 and 4. Try and get any semblance of a good lap. This time 22.67, probably not going to be good enough, but we will see how he improves here. 22.65 and much cleaner that time out of turn number 2. Down into 3 and 4. Number 36 machine trying to keep it under control out of turn 4. Nearly up into the wall, but great job there. He improves to a 21.76. Adam Cabot looking to try and knock him off the top. He runs a 21.90, so not quite as fast. So Mayato, a very good second lap covering after that first one. But here comes Dylan Parker, fastest in the practice session. He maybe scuffs the wall right there, and that is the case. He downshifts it, throws it in the wall. That lap is over. Eli Hinton now up to speed, trying to improve, and he's going to lose the back end of that race car out of turn 2. Same issue there for Hinton as Mayato had on his first lap. Here goes Elliott Butler on lap number 2, trying to improve his lap time at 22.12 out of turn 4. He does not improve as Yusuf Ghali now on the racetrack in the TRD paint scheme. Once again, last year's champion, who had a great battle, I believe it was at this racetrack, with Connor Horn last season. And Connor, speak of the devil, he is on the racetrack in the Denver Mattress Furniture Row Toyota Camry, and looking to improve his lap time. This first lap at 22.48, probably taking it pretty easy as he throws it down into turns 3 and 4. Here he comes across the start-finish line. Can he knock Keith Mayato off the pole? He will not. That'll put him 5th fastest Keith Mato fastest right now. 1/100th better than Dylan Parker. And then Eric Hutton, third quickest. He's just another 0.06 off. There goes Alek Martinez, though, your week 1 winner. The top of the board here with just 1.5 minutes remaining in qualifying. Can anyone take that time down at 21.760? Here goes Angelo Ronis and Jeremiah Vincent on the racetrack as well. Marcus Emerson getting up to speed for his laps. Angelo with a 21.89 on the first lap. He'll try and improve here on lap number 2. The Adidas Ford Mustang down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Out of turn number 4, trying to keep that thing pointed in the right direction. And 81 is going to be a good lap, but not fast enough for the pole. That is 6th fastest. How about Marcus Emerson, though? He's going to be one of the last few to take a lap time challenge for the pole position. Lap number 1 coming to a close here at 22.41. We'll look to improve. That's 21st out of 21 qualifiers. And good run out of turn 2 there. Nearly tagged the wall, but kept it straight. And into turn number 3. Got a groove up off the bottom. Diamonds it down to that inside line and out of the corner there. 21.86. Another good lap time, but that's only going to be a top 10 time in the 9th position. So good job there. But Alek Martinez looking to be your pole sitter here tonight, with time running out in the qualifying session. Everyone gotten their lap times in, at least the top 21 have. And we're going to see where your favorite drivers are starting in tonight's race. Try and get a good view of the field here. Doesn't look like... There we go. For your starting grid in tonight's event, Alek Martinez, your pole sitter from Dover for race number 2. He's looking to go back-to-back, and right now starting in a good spot to do that. Keith Mato going to join him on the front row, and nice lap time from him as well. Looked like he was going to have the pole until just a few moments left in the session. Rolling off from row number 2, it's Dylan Parker, the number 3, who was fastest in practice. We'll see what he has for the race conditions here tonight. Eric Hutton rolling off from that 4th position. Dave Ferrer is going to be starting in the 5th spot here tonight, and Angelo Ronis rolling off from 6th. Connor Horn making his first start of the season, going to be starting in 7th. Jeremy Miller going to be rolling off in the 8th spot. Marcus Emerson with the 9th position, and Jeff Wright, who nearly brought it home last week, he's going to end up in 10th on the qualifying boards. Adam Cabot starting in the 11th spot. Great race last week. We'll see if he can follow it up again tonight. AJ Stravato, top 5 run last week. He's going to start 12th tonight. Yusuf Ghali going to be rolling off from the 13th position. Caleb Hattery starting in 14th. 15th, Greg Wellen. 16th, Eli Hinton. 17th, Garrett Keat. 18th, Joe Stafford. 19th is Jordan Ashland. 20th, Elliott Butler. 21st, Jeremiah Vincent. 22nd, and first of the drivers to not take a time, is Taylor Butcher Benjamin. 23rd, Eddie Trejo. 24th, Lyle Sulfridge. And rounding out the field tonight, 25th, 25 drivers, Lane Sulfridge. So decent sized field here tonight for the Virtual Racing League, as the field nearly ready to work their way off of the pit lane. Alek Martinez will lead them in doing so. And like always, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there and who you're rooting for. It's going to be a great battle here tonight from Dover. The Monster Mile. Is Miles going to claim any of these drivers before the night is through? I would say yes. Hear what you guys have to say. Cheer on your favorite drivers, and we'll try and follow along with them throughout the event. 150 laps tonight. We're going to lap 50 for stage number 1. And then from there on out, we are going to go straight to the finish. So glad to be back with these guys again this season, the Virtual Racing League. here we go, getting ready for race number 2. It is Alek Martinez, Keith Mayato on that front row. They work out of turn 4. Green flag in the air. What a jump for Martinez as he leads the field to the start-finish line. Already out in front by about 6 car lengths, and Dylan Parker going to take advantage of that jump. He's going to move to second over Keith Mayato. Right behind them, Eric Hutton looking to the inside of Mayato. The inside line going to be preferred here for a few laps, and then things will change up just a bit. But so far, the top 5 single file as Safe Ferris gets passed up for that 5th position. He drops to 6th. And Jeremy Miller now looking to his outside, trying to complete that pass, but Safe charges back down low. They race side by side down the back straightaway. Here comes Connor Horn up to the 8th spot. And as I recall, Connor was not the fastest car all race long last season here, but he had a fantastic pit sequence under green, which put him out in front, and they were set to battle to the end. As here he goes now looking to the inside of Angelo Ronis as Safe Ferris nearly clears himself from the 29. He's going to move up next to his teammate Keith Mayato. The V-Speed Machines is at the front. Martinez under pressure. Here comes Dylan Parker. That short run speed that we saw in practice now paying off as he takes the lead at the conclusion of lap number 3. And look at that, he jumps out about 6 or 7 car lengths. And Martinez, I think his strategy here may be to save the tires. He's led a couple laps. He's going to let Dylan get out there and burn his stuff up. Keith Mayato nearly up into the wall. Other driver known for saving his stuff. And Connor Horn up into the top 5. Here he goes to the inside of Martinez. It looks like Mayato and Martinez, pretty similar strategy in this opening few laps, as there goes the 48 of Jeff Wright right on past them. Here comes AJ Stravato past Mayato. A lot of rhymes going on right now, as here's the 18 of Martinez dropping into position. He'll hold on to 7th, but Stravato putting pressure on, and we've got a car scraping the outside wall. I think that was the 29 of Ronis. And so far, your top 2 have dropped back to 9th and 11th. And Mayato putting a lot of pressure on the back bumper of Alek Martinez as Dylan Parker is scooting away from the field now, over 1.1 seconds in front of Eric Hutton. That time by, though, Hutton matching the lap time of your race leader as he's got pressure from Safe Ferris, Connor Horn, and Jeremy Miller. The rest of the top 5 go on board here with Safe Ferris as he challenges for that 2nd spot. You hear him trying to hang on to the car right there. A little bit of playing with the throttles. He gets really loose in 3 and 4. He's going to lose a couple spots here. There goes Connor Horn, and here goes Jeremy Miller, who nearly slips up into him, but Safe with a little bit of right front damage, I noticed, from the hood cam. And he's going to need to figure something out, starting to lose a couple spots. As Alek Martinez, your pole sitter, he's dropped to the 13th spot, that number 18 machine. And Elliott Butler starting to close in on him. Marcus Emerson back here, as well as Caleb Hattery. Angelo Ronis has dropped all the way back to 17th in this race from the 6th starting spot. So a few drivers, I think, with the strategy to save their stuff and start charging probably about halfway through this stage. Just look at this, Dylan Parker, he's out in front, but Connor Horn has moved to 2nd. Just 6.5 tenths behind. Here goes Jeremy Miller. He's going to blow past the 88. And oh, Safe Ferris has to check up big time to avoid that number 88 machine of Hutton. and that's going to cost him a few more spots. Very close call for the 44. As here goes Stravato and Cabot going to work their way up past him. That 44 machine probably not too happy about all that. As the 77 of Cabot, he's looking a little bit squirrely. Now challenge for the lead, though. Connor Horn. Oh, and Dylan Parker, what a bobble there. That's going to cost him a ton of time as Connor goes flying past. He'll jump out to about a half-second lead already. And Jeremy Miller challenging for second spot now. Dylan with the short run speed, but it might hurt him here on the long run. He's starting to struggle. Look at that from Jeremy Miller, too. He's dealing with the same thing. Really big wiggle there. Right in front of Eric Hutton and Jeff Wright. Those two go side by side. And Wright is going to make the pass for fourth. But it is getting really slippery out here for these guys. Look at them wiggling out of the corner. Some contact with the wall from some cars farther back. Tonight is going to be a very tricky event for these guys to navigate with the high track temp. But mostly single file. Look at the 54 of Yusuf Ghali. He's under pressure from the 8 of Garrett Keat. I'm going to have to get word from Garrett if it's Keat or Kite. I am not sure. But I pick and choose how I want to pronounce it. Each and every time. But he's doing a good job up here in 9th. A big wiggle right there. And here comes Mayato. He's going to peek down low. Try and take advantage of that. But he gets nearly on the apron as we've got a big checkup up here. Eric Hutton, he's going to get passed up by a couple more cars. As Stravato moves past Jeremy Miller, moves Stravato to 4th. AJ Stravato, the waste management machine, had a good shot at it last week and could not close the deal as the 88 of Hutton. Look at these two side by side, really wiggly now, almost 3 wide. They might actually be 3 wide. And the 77 of Cabot up there on the high side, Yusuf Ghali down low. Now those two side by side as Hutton struggling in front of them. They're going to have to find a way around. And Hutton starting to put the pressure on Jeremy Miller. So this race getting intense back here. Look at Cabot up and out of the groove. As he struggles to hang on to that race car, he'll lose 2 spots to Mayato and Alek Martinez. And here comes Garrett Keat as well. That 36 machine of Keith Mayato starting to move back up, and he is bringing Alek Martinez with him. These two now back up in the top 10. And Mayato closing in on a top 5 spot as Yusuf Ghali right here in front of him is the 6th position. Yusuf now looks to the inside of Jeremy Miller, and Miller way up out of the groove. That is not what you want to do here. With these cars handling the way they are, he's going to lose 4 or 5 spots now. There goes Garrett Keat. He'll drop to 10th, and the 77 of Cabot now looking to move up into that 10th position. He will do so out of turn number 2. That 30 machine used all his stuff up, as well as the 44 of Safe Ferris. He's dropped to 14th. In just a handful of laps. A car who has not used all his stuff up and is still pulling away. Connor Horn well out in front now, almost 2.5 seconds. We have the car Eddie Trejo 2 laps down. Big damage on the right. Yeah, the right side and the front left. So he obviously made contact in a couple spots. And he's going to go 3 laps down now, actually. And we want to thank everyone who has joined us here watching tonight and has elected to watch over the car anomaly events. I know those are going on. A big event with some big-time drivers, but some big races here with some big drivers as well. Look at this move by Dylan Parker to take 3rd position back from Jeff Wright. That 48 car starting to struggle just a little bit. As Yusuf Ghali now to the back bumper. He's going to look down low. And behind him, it is Keith Mayato and Alek Martinez in 6th and 7th. Ghali up the racetrack, nearly slides up into the 54. Mayato evasive maneuvers. That's going to open up the door or Martinez, who actually backs out of it. But that 36 and the 18, those two are definitely moving forward. Here comes Alek, perfect maneuvering through the turn there. He nearly got underneath. I don't know what happened actually out of the exit of the corner there. It looked like he was going to get to the side of my auto, but that is not the case, as now AJ Stravato has moved to second. He's going to move past the Sulfridges, the 70 and the 71 right now, and 23rd and 24th, both going one lap down as the rest of the field works on past. But that is definitely an interesting situation there with all of these cars trying to navigate the slower traffic, as the 88 of Hutton, he slips up the racetrack there. I'm interested to see if Stravato can get up there and challenge Connor Horn, but right now he's about 3 or 4 tenths a lap slower. This is the view from the number 33 hood cam. Big slide in the middle of 3 and 4 there for him. Waiting on that throttle so long, but up to second now and under 3 seconds behind. We'll see if he has anything for the number 67 out front. Behind him though, it is chaos embodied. There's the 36 of Mayato, and the 18 of Martinez has moved past him, but these two running some of the quicker laps, actually the fastest on the racetrack, along with Jeff Wright, who's in that 3rd spot. He's starting to close in on Stravato. And right now, the lead 2.8 seconds, and then it's about another second back to Martinez, or back to Mayato. So we've got 3 cars within a second battling for that 3rd position. Yusuf Ghali now back to 6th. And he's going to try and hold off Garrett Keat, but look at that slide there. I think with all this downforce, they wouldn't have the traction issues, but that is not the case. Look at this, though. Big move by Alek Martinez and Keith Mayato. They move to the inside of Jeff Wright. Mayato, though, big wiggle out of turn 2. He's not able to complete the pass just yet. Now he makes the move down into turn number 3. So Martinez and Mayato moving through the field. They were just the back end of the top 15, and now up 3rd and 4th and closing on your race leader, as last time by Martinez about a tenth faster than Connor Horn. He's going to have to be even quicker than that, as the 18 is 3.4 back and only 17 laps remaining in the stage. But he is absolutely pushing that car up against the outside wall that time, 2 tenths faster than Connor Horn, and that would just about get him there. Now look at the gap closing down to AJ Stravato. Look at him go deep into the corner there. And let's see what the margin is at the line this time. Oh, he tags the wall just a little bit, but still a tenth and a half faster than Connor Horn. Mayato about a half tenth faster than Connor. And those two by far the fastest on the racetrack. Nobody else within it. Really within range of those times. Alek Martinez now just 2 or 3 car lengths behind AJ Stravato. Last time by Connor Horn, fastest on the racetrack. Keith Mayato matching his time though. It started to move up the racetrack, and that seems to be working for him at the moment. But at this point in the run, as you get closer and closer to the car in front, you start to experience a little aero push. I think that might be what Alek is having with that race car right now. A little bit of push. He enters the turn. Now he started to change his lineup, moving to the 2nd lane. Keith Mayato, though, right behind him. He started to close back in, and he'll probably put a challenge on for the 3rd spot. As we are closing in on 10 laps to go in the stage, I can't believe there have been no wrecks the way these cars are handling, but that just goes to show the strength of these drivers here. We have some battles going on outside the top 10. That is Yusuf Ghali on the back bumper of Marcus Emerson. He nearly tags the wall, and he'll look to the inside now as the 22 trying to hang on to a top 10 position. Gonna have a big challenge on his hands. 54, really big wiggle out of turn 4. These two side by side through 1 and 2. Here's the 29 of Veronis also closing in on that picture. And we got a three-way battle here for a top 10 spot. This challenge for second is not over yet. Martinez still within striking distance. Keith Mayado's faded just a little bit. The last couple laps not as strong, but look at that big wiggle out of turn 2. Martinez really pushing the race car now. Welcome, Blazer Pete. The 18 almost on the apron there. He's starting to get a little bit messy. How he is driving that race car, starting to cost him time. That time was not the fastest on the racetrack. And pretty well spaced out right now among the top 8. But Yusuf Ghali starting to track down the 77 of Cabot with less than 10 to go. Can he get up there into those points paying positions for stage number 1? And we have a car up towards the wall. That's the 70 machine of Lyle Sulfridge. He goes 2 laps down as we now have Dylan Parker. Must have lost connection. He is 10 laps off the pace in 25th. So a driver who led 11 of the first 15 or so laps currently scored last as he is well up the racetrack there. Trying to work around Eddie Trejo, who is 2 laps down in 24th position. So that is unfortunate for Dylan, but look at this battle here. 7th and 8th starting to develop as well. That is Eric Hutton and Adam Cabot. And this is pretty much the closest anyone is on track, except for potentially Yusuf Ghali behind Cabot. He's pulled well away from Angelo Ronis. And 77 starting to struggle just a little bit. That's the last points paying position for the stage. Just 6 more laps before the yellow comes out. Can he hang on to it for that much longer? That car really loose right now. Meanwhile, at the front, AJ Stravato has actually closed the gap up to Connor Horn by about 0.6. But I think he's just not going to have enough time. He's pulled away from Alek Martinez by almost a second. And here comes Mayato to challenge for 3rd position. And you can see right there the 18 really struggling, but here goes the 48 of Jeff Wright now to the inside of Keith Mayato, and he's going to make that move work. Out of turn 2, Mayato really loose there. He's in danger of losing another spot as here comes the 8 machine of Garrett Keat. I think Mayato used all his stuff up in the middle of this run. Kind of interesting how that played out. But it could also potentially be a fuel thing. I don't really know why they have fallen off significantly. I think Mayato, he could even have a flat tire the way that that car looks like it's handling. He's about a second off the pace, maybe 2. Maybe he just, yeah, that left rear actually is looking like it could be flat. See if we can get a closer view of that. Maybe not. Looking pretty low, but no great indicator of whether or not it is flat. I think he'd be having even worse handling issues. And here's the battle for that last spot. Yusuf Ghali going to take it away. Adam Cabot, big slide in 3 and 4. And that is 8th position to Yusuf Ghali. And 1 lap to go in the stage. Connor Horn out in front by 3.2 seconds. Nobody within sight. Connor Horn won this race last year, and he is on his way to winning stage 1, and he will do it Connor Horn, winner of stage 1 here. We wait for that yellow flag to be thrown. I think it says Yusuf Ghali and others get across the line, and there it is. Yusuf Ghali actually passes Keith Mayato. I think right at the stage end. Actually, Mayato beat him to the line, but not by much. So it is Connor Horn first. AJ Stravato in second. Jeff Wright third. Garrett Keat fourth. Alek Martinez fifth. Eric Hutton in sixth. Keith Mayato was seventh at the line there. You can see the scoring on the left. And Yusuf Ghali eighth at the stage completion. Made the pass after the start-finish line. But he will be seventh in line to go into the pits. As Connor Horn, who dominates stage number 1 in his return to the Virtual Racing League, he's going to bring him to pit lane. Field works down to pit road speed. The 21 machine of Eddie Trejo, he's going to remain on the racetrack, try and get one of his laps back here, or I think he actually just has to pit next time around. But drivers pulling into their pit box. Handful, a lap down, staying on the racetrack. It looks like Jeremiah Vincent, Joe Stafford staying on the track. They're going to try and lead some laps there. Thank you for the subscription, King Sloshbuckler. 11 months. Thank you, sir. As Connor Horn wins the battle off pit road, AJ Stravato second, and it looked like Jeff Wright was in third there, making his way off pit lane. Jeremiah Vincent trying to lead some laps here. I don't think he's led one yet. In the Cobalt Camaro. Speaking of Camaros, we do have a new sponsor for the channel. Check it out. It is Rick's Camaro. A one-stop shop for everything you need to restore or upgrade your Camaro. You can visit using our link there in the chat. If you have a Camaro, you're looking for some parts. I've used the website previously for when I had my old third-gen Camaros, the IROC. And definitely a great source for everything Camaro, any generation. One of our new sponsors on board. The field works around under the first yellow flag. Let's do a quick recap. Just the first caution of the night for the stage end, and 2 lead changes here. The first from Alek Martinez to Dylan Parker, and the second, Dylan Parker, Connor Horn. You're enjoying the racing action as well. Check us out on all these different social media outlets. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we post race announcements before each and every broadcast. Stay up to date with what we're doing on those platforms. And you can also find us on YouTube at V-Speed, where we post our race replays. You can check out the season opener from Michigan up there. That went up a couple days ago. A great race from these guys. Definitely worth a rewatch if you haven't seen it. A watch for the first time. So the field now getting double file, about ready to go. These two having a bit of fun here with the pace truck. And Alek Martinez with a penalty. That is going to drop him to the tail end of the lead lap. Currently scored 20th. I think Caleb Hattery also maybe came back in. He'll be 21st, but some tough mudding here for the 18. get back up to the front of the pack. He was starting to struggle there at the tail end of the stage anyways. And we are about to get back underway. Green flag in the air. Connor Horn gets a great jump, and he'll lead the field to the start-finish line, and we're back underway. All green flag racing other than the stage break. It's hopefully going to be green flag all the way to the end. Look at the big block there by the 8 machine of Garrett Keat. The 77 of Cabot tried to make the move down low, but no room to work with the 8 sliding down the track like that. And up to speed they go across the start-finish line. The 44 of Safe Fair is side by side with Angelo Ronis. And the 22 of Marcus Emerson looking on this battle. See if Safe learned anything from the first stage after being so quick early on. He dropped like a rock. Jordan Ashland, he's going to let a few cars by right here. Elliott Butler moves to the inside. Behind him, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who has had a very quiet night. Back here outside the top 15. And then Greg Wellen also back here. Joe Stafford, 18th. And Jeremiah Vincent and Alek Martinez. And Alek, he is taking it very slow here in 21st. Last car on the lead lap. Meanwhile, at the front, it is nose to tail, the top 10. And it is Connor Horn under pressure from Jeff Wright. 48 trying to pounce here while he can in these opening laps of the stage, knowing that that's going to be more and more difficult as the laps go on. Sounds like there is major tire wear in the right rear tonight, so it's possible we could see a blowout here in stage number 2. Caleb Hattery also having a penalty we're just hearing. That's why he is back here with Alek Martinez. So those two, a lot of work to do. And still plenty of time, but these laps are going to click off pretty fast if we stay green like this. Look at the battle for the race lead. Jeff Wright now moves to the inside of Connor Horn, nearly tagging the wall as the 67, and the 48 will move on past. Here comes Yusuf Ghali now to second place. And AJ Stravato also trying to get in on the action. He'll move to the 3rd spot. So Connor Horn losing a few spots. He falls to 5th. We'll see if he can climb back up to the race lead. But Keith Maiato up the racetrack. He's starting to try some things out. Maybe preserve that right rear a little better than stage 1 where he ended up in 7th. Look at the big tap there, though. The 88 of Eric Hutton. He gets a hit from the 22 of Emerson. And he's trying to collect that race car, but he'll lose about 4 or 5 spots now. And under pressure from Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, and Elliott Butler. Go back and look at this save here. What a save by Eric Hutton. That car was dead sideways. And he was wiggling all the way through the exit of the corner. But able to hang on to it and in 12th position. Everyone single file. All the way back here to Joe Stafford. And then quite a gap back to Jeremiah Vincent in the 19th spot. And then Caleb Hattery in 20th. Alek Martinez 21st. I'm not sure what Alek is doing here, but he is way off the pace. In 22 or 9.2 seconds rather off your race leader. Maybe taking the strategy of slow and steady, which is not often what we see from drivers here on iRacing. But right now, driver not doing that is the 48 machine of Jeff Wright. He's running some of his best laps of the race. AJ Stravato matching his times right here in 2nd position. AJ ended up in the 2nd spot at the end of stage 1. We'll see if he can capitalize on what happened with the 67 of Connor Horn and try and win the race here tonight. Connor riding around in the 5th position. We'll go on board with him here. And it really just sounds like he's trying to be smooth and steady and trying to keep that right rear tire underneath him. With some drivers reporting as low as 28% remaining in that right rear. This is 2 times the distance, and he definitely won't make it at that kind of a pace. So Connor may be in for the long haul here rather than the short run. Right now, look at this battle, the 48 and the 33. Bravado nearly gave him the bumper. He might do it this next time by, as he is starting to get held up. Gonna look down low, not gonna make the move just yet. Lap cars coming up in front of these two. But he gets onto the apron there. That is not what you want to do out of that corner. He's gonna lose 3 car lengths. The 48, a little bit of breathing room now, but definitely the speed in that 33 car behind him. They'll have to work to the outside of the lap machine of Eddie Trejo. 3 laps down now, going 4 laps down, I believe. And that may be 3 laps now. Yusuf Ghali, he's under attack. Oh, the 54 of Ghali, a big issue there. Don't know what happened to him. He was way up the racetrack, though. Let's see if we can find out. He had to work to the outside of Trejo. Just up and out of the groove, and the 67 of Connor Horn gets to the inside. Able to make that pass. Good move there by Connor Horn, who moves to 4th, and we'll see if he makes his charge at this point in the run. Still a long ways to go, not even halfway in the race. Jeff Wright out in front, 0.6 of a second over Stravado. And Garrett Keat, Connor Horn 4th, and Yusuf Ghali in 5th. Look at Keith Mayato. He was looking. Oh, big issue there for the 36. What happened here? They're 3 wide. This cannot end well, as there goes the 30 around right in front of Eric Hutton, and I think that's going to bring out the yellow flag. Keith was well off the pace. Don't know if he had gotten hit, but first caution for a wreck tonight. We're going to come out here at lap 75. Let's take a look at how this all started. Keith Mayato went to the inside, 22 up high. He bounces it off the wall. Mayato nowhere to go, just gets hit in the door, and look at that, safe barriers. Look at him check up right there. What a good job by the 44. But he gets into the back of the 30, who slips up into the 36. And around goes Miller right into Eric Hutton. Let's take another look at this section of the wreck. Damage for those two. Just bad, wrong place, wrong time for Hutton. Let's take a look here. Probably about as safe a spot as you can usually be on this track, but a little bit of a self-cleaning track, so the 30 ended up sliding down the banking rather than kind of staying in the middle of the groove where you might expect on other racetracks. The 88 ends up taking a big hit there. But Jeff Wright was your race leader. The time of the yellow, we'll see how he gets off the pit lane. Look at the good pit stop by the 33 team, but not able to capitalize, as Wright will win the battle off. And then it is Bravado, Keat, Horn, and Yusuf Ghali, the top 5. Lane Sulfridge getting back on the lead lap at number 71 Hot Wheels Machine. We're going to go to quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with jugs. It's big, all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for a baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to drops.com. The first one's on us.
Back at the racetrack now for the VRL Dover 150. Past halfway, just 2 cautions so far in this race on a very slippery racetrack. This is race 2 of 25, the Virtual Racing League Cup Series. We welcome you to the broadcast. If you're just joining us, this has been a very exciting race and a lot of very intense racing action for cars that really are not handling well. Connor Horn won stage number 1 at the lap 50 break. And right now it is Jeff Wright and AJ Stravato in the front row for this restart. It'll be lap 80 on the board as we take the green flag. As the pace truck makes the hard left onto pit road, waiting for the green flag. There it is, a good jump by Jeff Wright, and he'll pull out in front by about 4 or 5 car lengths in front of AJ Stravato, who does a good job as well in hanging on to second. We have side-by-side battling. Connor Horn able to clear Garrett Keat, and now it is Keat and Cabot. Kind of sounds like some sort of a band or something. Oh, the 77, a big wiggle there, though. Out of turn 4. They remain side-by-side, these black and silver machines. Dead even, but here goes the 77 of Cabot with the advantage out of turn 2. He's going to now look to the outside of Connor Horn, now settles into line. The top 2 have broken away by about 6 car lengths, and Stravato not close enough to challenge for the race lead just yet. But expect these 2 to get to battling at some point here throughout the remainder of this race. Yusuf Ghali making the pass on Safe Ferris. That moves him to 6th position. Starts to put some pressure on the 77 and the 8 cars. These guys really are slipping and sliding around. Let's go on board with Yusuf, last year's champion, number 54. See how he's hanging on to this thing. Very delicate on the throttle. At this point in the run, this is when they have the most grip, but still a little bit loose. You can hear the tires starting to get to the edge of their grip as he gets to the throttle, and this kind of diamonding has been tough on the cars tonight. Up over the little bump there. Doing a good job, though. These cars nose to tail in front of him and behind him. As those top 2 have really pulled away. Alek Martinez has not made a ton of progress in terms of moving forward since his penalty. Right now in 18th in that 18 car. In front of him is the 30 of Jeremy Miller, who had the damage from the wreck. He's keeping up right now with Eli Hinton, but probably pushing that car as hard as it can go with the way it looks. Eric Hutton back to 20th right now. Unfortunate for him to just really have nowhere to go. And everything broke out there. But he rides actually 19th is what it's showing at the moment. Yusuf Gawi, we might have lost him here. We'll see if he gets back on the track, but right now it looks like he may have dropped out. That'll move Safe Ferris to 6th, and Jordan Ashland kind of come up out of nowhere. Started 19th tonight, one of the farthest back in terms of those who took lap times, but slowly and steadily worked his way up here in the top 10, and now starting to put some pressure on these guys in front of him for a top 5 spot, and it's very impressive considering how these cars are handling tonight. Right now, the race lead is in the hands of the 48 machine. There's a common sight here at Dover. But this time not the Lowe's machine, it is the Pepsi Camaro. Out in front and behind him, AJ Stravado, who also is known to run the 48 car in other leagues, like the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series on the Thursday nights here on V Speed. He rides in second. And Connor Horn, who won stage number 1, he's moved back up into the 3rd position, and he is leading this little train of race cars. Now I have a feeling that 67 is not done yet here tonight. I think he is running a bit conservatively right now. About a 10th or 2 slower than the race leaders. And at some point here, he is going to have to pick it back up, but 60 laps or so remaining. Still plenty of time to make the move. He has not shown his hand just yet, but very dominant in stage 1, so I would expect to see that show up at some point here in stage 2. Look at this battle, though. These guys, since the drop of this latest green flag, they have been right on top of each other. Cabot and Keat. And a little bit of a wiggle there from Cabot as he scoots that car out of turn number 4, able to pull away by about a car length. But Garrett Keat, a good run for him here tonight. He's been in the top 10 all race long. And Jordan Ashland now closing in to Safe Ferris, who had a strong run tonight as well. Angelo Ronis up here in 8th position. He is currently about 6/10 back of Ashland. And then Taylor Butcher Benjamin, we said was kind of having a quiet night. He's up here in 9th. Right in front of Joe Stafford, as Keith Mayato with the little bit of left rear damage might be hurting the handling. Actually, it's pretty much the whole left side. And I think he should have some right side damage too from the contact with the 88, but Keith might be down a little bit of speed as now he looks to the inside of Stafford. Both of them very loose out of the turn there, but he's going to take away 10th. Elliott Butler up to 12th now. Marcus Emerson with a little bit of damage on that race car. He's had his ups and downs in this race, currently 13th. About 8/10 out in front of Greg Wallen, who has been right around this 14-15 spot. And big slide there. That was a close call. Eli Hinton back there. Oh, we've got the 57 in the wall. This is not a good spot to be. trying to catch up with him, but yellow flag gonna fly as he backs it down the racetrack and gets going once again. But yellow flag for the third time tonight. Let's see what happened to Joe. So I'm starting to struggle a bit after my auto got past him. That big wiggle there, chases it up the racetrack. The 6 and the 22 and the 57 just cannot hang on to it there. Just kind of runs it across the wall a little bit. And oh, that was a close call between the 30 and I think the 75 ended up making contact with the inside wall. Caleb Hattery goes to avoid it, and he does hit the inside. Good job by Alek Martinez to stay off the wall. Let's go to the nose cam on that car. Oh my gosh, that was a lot closer than I thought for Jeremy Miller. See the 57 wrecked up there. Starts backing down the racetrack. Wow, what an incredible job to avoid that one. Couldn't avoid the previous wreck, but that one would have surely ended his night. So good job there by the 30 machine to extend his race. We got Ryan Gemmel here, being a little bit of a jokester in the chat, saying get Stravato up here in the booth for an interview. Tell him that he is Ryan's biggest fan. I don't think that's how it works, but you know what? I think we'll pull him up here. Just talk to him though. AJ Stravato, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, AJ, you've had a fast car all race long. You haven't found the front just yet, but you got about 50 laps to do so. What do you think you can do here to get it done tonight?
I just need a longer green flag run. I think we had Jeff right there. We're really starting to reel him in. And key all race, I think, is just saving this right rear. Car's really loose on the long run, but we had him. We just needed the run right here. So now I think we're good to the end. So be interesting to see how it all plays out. Looking forward to it. Got a lot of really fast guys around us. I know Alek and Connor are going to be really good on this long run here. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yes, sir. Definitely going to be interesting. Some guys have had that short run speed, but the tires have been a huge problem with the way, you know, the track temp is tonight. We heard as low as 28% after the first run. Have you been experiencing it as bad as that?
Yeah, it's been, especially on the rears, the right rear, it's been pretty decent tire wear, but it's, I think at the end of the day, it just is who's going to manage your tires the best, I think, on this long run right here. Hopefully you can get a long run in the race, and looking forward to it. Yes,
sir. We'll see how it goes for you, and hopefully talk to you at the end. Any quick shout-outs before we let you go back racing?
Just all my teammates that I'm running with right now, and all the league admins that have been putting this on so far. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully we can get it done.
Awesome, AJ. Well, thanks for taking some time for us. Which room were you in here in the Discord?
I think the VMS team takeout one, like the Alliance one.
Yes, sir. I'll take you back down there. Thanks again.
Hi, brother.
And that was AJ Stravato going back with his VMS teammates and friends over there. And I think he's right. I think it's going to be tire wear, tire conservation. The driver who manages that all the best going to win tonight's race. And right now it is Jeff Wright and Connor Horn on row number 1. Stravato and Cabot, row 2. Row 3, Garrett Keat, Zay Ferris. Row 4, Eli Hinton. And the 29 machine of Angelo Ronis, who snuck up into contention here. But I am interested to see how this 67 car does over this last stretch. He was so good in stage 1. And Now he's back up in the fight again. Look at that. The 48 goes straight away. Green flag in the air, and we are underway once again. Connor Horn back to second, but about 10 car lengths back is now the fight for third between Cabot and Stravato. The 33 really trying to get up into that spot. The 77 holding them down just a little bit as they work through 3 and 4. It is Cabot taking over third spot. Giron, who you think is going to win tonight's race? Keep an eye on him here for the last 50 laps or so. Right now it is Jeff Wright, Connor Horn, Adam Cabot, AJ Stravato, and Garrett Keat breaking away, and then Eli Hinton up to 6th. But he has a bright red machine of Safe Ferris behind him. And you'll definitely see that in the mirror. That car so bright on the hood. He worked down in turns 3 and 4. He was all over the back bumper trying to find some way through, but nowhere to go as the 13 right in the groove. But Safe Ferris probably knows that he's got to get up there and at least into the fight to have any chance to win this thing. He looks down low again. The 13, though, about a half groove up. Not enough space to make the pass. But this could end interestingly. I'm not sure how the 44 can find a way around. Look at the battle behind. That is Angelo Ronis and Taylor Butcher Benjamin now side by side as the 13 slips up the racetrack. And here goes Ronis behind Ferris. Those two looking to the inside of Eli Hinton. The 13 is going to let him go. And Ronis can't get the power down out of turn 2. But Eli Hinton will hang on to the 7th spot. Up at the front, though. A bit closer than it was during the last run. Jeff Wright here, about 2/10 in front. Here comes Connor Horn. He's going to look to the inside. Wright tags the wall. So Connor Horn back to the front after drifting to about the 5th position in the middle of this race. He has taken over the lead once again, and that is not what these drivers wanted to see. The driver so dominant in stage 1. See what he can do here in stage 2. Just over 40 laps to go in this race. Jeff Wright, though, not letting him get away. He might have let him get past, but he is not going to let him drive off into the sunset. Going to put as much pressure on that 67 as he can, maybe even have an opportunity to pass him back. That's all you can hope for, is force Connor into a mistake, force him to drive too hard, burn up the tires, and you saw how good that car was in stage 1 with pushing it, but also saving tires. So see if you can do it again here. 1 car length separating those two now, about 5 or 6 back to the 77. And then about 4 more back to Stravato, a couple more to Garrett Keat, but they have stretched out in front of Safe Ferris by about 3/4 of a second, and he is pulled away from Eli Hinton by about 1 second. 29 car now sneaking up here. The back bumper. And I am very impressed by Taylor Butcher Benjamin up here in the top 10. After running outside the top 15 for most of this race, he's got a car here that is capable of finishing, maybe within the top 7 or 8. As maybe an issue for Marcus Emerson. Oh, there he is. He's back. Big blinks there from him. He's got Keith Mayato behind him. These two already have gotten together once tonight. Maybe Keith not so happy with the 22. He's all over the back bumper of the Rolex Ford Mustang. And oh, he's going to make contact. Up into the wall they go. Big hit by both drivers. Not sure what that was. 22 slipped up the track a little bit, but I think he thought there was more room than there was. I know Mark's been having a little bit of connection issues here tonight. But even still, let's get a little bit closer into this and see what it looks like from down low. Keith dives in. Not enough room there. He makes contact, and then they go up into the wall, and then a big hit there. That was, I think, Elliott Butler. Might have gotten away with just kind of a skim there on the right front. Oh, yeah, just, well, it looked worse for Emerson than it did for... Wow, that is interesting looking. I think he somehow got hit by the 3 car. Dylan Parker really blinked out there, but... Ooh, Mark not happy. Yeah, you see him sliding here just randomly. It looked like he probably got hit by the 3. And spins it around. And that car pretty well destroyed. But Connor Horn and the rest of the top 13 staying out on the racetrack. Alek Martinez on pit lane. This is an interesting call, as Taylor Butcher Benjamin's going to win that battle off pit road. There goes Elliott Butler, who's now got a bit of right front damage, and then Alek Martinez. He's 16th. But will he have an opportunity to win this race with the fresh tires? Seeing how much tires have made a difference tonight. Thank you, the infamous Sloth, for the subscription. Prime subscription. Thanks for tuning in, man. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. We do not have too many more laps left in this thing. Let's do a quick recap. 4 cautions, 4 lead changes. Pace truck lights are still on. Looks like we're going at least one more time. Let's go through the field and see where everybody started and finished. Connor Horn, your race leader, started 7th. He has led 57 laps to this point. Adam Cabot started 11th. He is currently in 2nd. Stravato started 12th. He rides in 3rd. Garrett Keat started 17th. He rides 4th. Dave Ferris right where he started in 5th position. Eli Hinton started 16th, up 10 spots to 6th. Angelo Huronis back 1 spot from where he started. Eric Hutton with some damage on that race car now. He started in 4th and currently in 8th position. Riding 9th, it's Jordan Ashland up 10 spots as well. Caleb Hattery up 4 to 10th. Joe Stafford. That car doesn't look as bad as I thought. He is up to 11th right now. Lane Sulfridge rides in 12th. That car's pretty well beat up. 13th, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. After the pit stop there, he's first car on fresh tires. Elliott Butler rides in 14th. Pole sitter Alek Martinez has led 2 laps here tonight. Currently rides in 15th. Jeremiah Vincent rides 16th. Jeff Wright back to 17th. An extended stop. Perhaps speeding on pit lane. We'll see. Jeremy Miller 18th. Greg Wellen 19th. Keith Mayato. Rough night for him. He is in the 20th position. Lyle Sulfridge 21st. Marcus Emerson 22nd. 1 lap down. Eddie Trejo 23rd. Dylan Parker in 24th. 8 laps down. Yusuf Ghali. Connection problems tonight. 32 laps down and out of the race. It will be Connor Horn leading the field to the green flag. This time it'll be right around 30 laps to go. Still plenty of time for some of those drivers on fresher tires to make their way forward, but they're going to have to work quick. The dominant car of the night out in front. Do a kind of a restart he gets here. The 67 off to the races. Green flag back in the air. Everybody gets up to speed cleanly, which can be an issue at this racetrack. No tire spin at all, though. We are back underway. The 77 of Cabot to the outside of Stravato, trying to hang on to second, and he will do so. Big checkup farther back in the field. That is the 71 of Lane Sulfridge everybody had to avoid. And also Jeremy Miller, I think, off the pace right here in front of them. It is Alek Martinez, Taylor Butcher, Benjamin slicing and dicing through the pack. And look for these guys to move up into the top 5 before it's all said and done. Oh, and the 6 of Elliott Butler, he's going to go around, and that's going to bring out another quick yellow flag, probably what those drivers wanted to see. Butler slides down to the inside wall. Cautions, breeding cautions. This was kind of a messy situation. As we'll take a look here at 57 of Stafford up the racetrack. The 6 goes to the middle, and then connection blink there. 30 down low, just kind of drifts up into him. Let's go to the overhead of the 30 car. So he blinks out, and then the 30 kind of just comes up to where he was. Understandable mistake, but definitely, bummer for Elliott Butler, who had a pretty solid race going, and he's going to actually stay out on the racetrack. A handful of drivers bring it back down pit lane, including Greg Wellen, Lane Sulfridge, and Keith Maiato. Most likely getting damage repaired on the 36 car. But we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. It'll be around 25 laps to go when we get back to racing. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be very exciting.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/VSpeedSim.
Oh, I am sorry about all that, guys. I was muted there for that run. Safe Ferris got turned around off the 75. Looks like he went to close the door. The 75 got a little bit loose underneath him. And apologize for that little run there, but keep an eye on the 18. Just before all this, he was down low, just narrowly avoiding contact with the 44. And Alek Martinez starting to march forward, but only in 11th right now. And laps running out quickly with the cautions as they fall like this. And a bunch of drivers going to come down pit lane. And it's going to move some of these guys up the field. Travato brings it down. That is surprising to me. That AJ Stravato and a handful of others. The Adam Cabot there as well. He brought it down the pit lane. Once again, apologize. We were muted. But winning the battle off pit road is AJ Stravato. He'll be 12th when he enters the field. The drivers who previously pitted, Jeff Wright is the first of those drivers in 5th. 17 or 18 lap fresher tires than Connor Horn. So this is going to be a barn burner here to the end. It's going to be very interesting to see if Connor can hold off everyone charging behind him. But he has been the best car here tonight. 68 laps led out of 130. A stage 1 winner. And just 20 laps to go right now. We'll be right back after a quick message from one of our sponsors, Guayaki Yerba Mate.
Reach deep into yerba mate culture, and you'll discover people have long gathered to imbibe mate to awaken the mind, perform extraordinary feats, and exchange confidences. Brewed from the naturally caffeinated and nourishing leaves of the species of holly native to the South American Atlantic rainforest, yerba mate has the strength of coffee, the health benefits of tea, and the euphoria of chocolate, all in one beverage. Of the 6 commonly used stimulants in the world, coffee, tea, cola, cocoa, and guaraná, yerba mate triumphs as the most balanced and healthful while it stimulates. Come to life with Guayaquil's wide assortment of yerba mate offerings, from cans to bottles to loose leaf yerba mate, all with powers to unite and energize.
Yeah, once again, sorry for the audio mistake there. Went to take a drink of water and I must have not hit the mute or the microphone button hard enough, but you did not lose me, so that is good. We are about to go green once again. These guys working under the yellow flag, but it is Connor Horn and Garrett Keat up in the front row here, and then Eli Hinton, Eric Hutton in a car that is pretty well beat up. And then you've got some cars on slightly fresher tires behind. That is Jeff Wright, Jeremy Miller, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Alek Martinez, and others. And then from about 13th on back, actually AJ Stravato in 12th on back. Those drivers all on brand new rubber. So we'll see if they can climb up and challenge for the win. But right now it is Connor Horn, Garrett Keat, and company up here in the top 5. Green flag back in the air. And the 67 of Connor Horn goes straight away. No big checkups this time. Jeff Wright getting through the gears pretty well. He moves to 4th. And that is going to be a dangerous sight for the 67. I would think the 48 would have an advantage with those tires. Taylor Butcher Benjamin on the apron. They are going 3 wide. Big slide there by the 8 as he throws the block on the 48 machine into turn 3. Look at Jeff Wright all the way up the banking, and he'll go to the outside now of the 8 car and try and take 3rd position away. Just 2 more cars to get to the front, and now Alek Martinez moves to 6th. He's going to put some pressure on Jeremy Miller, who's got a lot of speed in that race car for the condition that it's in. And we have 3 wide racing. Not sure what just happened. The 6 machine of Elliott Butler going around again, and this time the damage appears to be terminal. Take a look. They were 3 wide there for a second. He goes up high. Blinks out a little bit. He's been having issues with that. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to catch what happens. As he hits the wall, comes down the racetrack all the way around. All over the place. He had some big connection problems there. Let's see if we can find out who was near him. I think the 27 was right around him. Go to the overhead here. See him start blinking there big time, and I don't think anyone really knew where he was. Cabot gets loose. That looks like it might have been the contact. And then he goes bouncing around all over the place and through people, I'm sure. So unfortunate for Elliott Butler, who's still having connection problems. Most likely out of the race. But in the meantime, Connor Horn has come down pit lane, and he's going to win the battle off, but now that changes things entirely, as now Jeff Wright, your race leader, he's on the oldest tires, along with the rest of the top 5, and then AJ Stravato, 6-lap old tires, but many of those pace laps. I think only 1 green flag lap. And then Adam Cabot, Angelo Ronis, Jordan Ashland, Caleb Hattery, Lane Sulfridge. Sulfridge is actually on older tires, but Hattery, Stafford, Safe Ferris, and Lyle Sulfridge all on the same tires. And then Connor Horn leads the rest of the cars in the 15th position. This is by far the deepest that 67 car has been in the field, and very little time remaining. I think it could be a mistake to have pitted, but maybe he just realized there was no way he was holding these guys off. How about that 30 car? That thing looks destroyed, and he has been able to outrun Alek Martinez on the same tires. So that is very impressive. Not sure how much Alek was holding back. But the 18 car started on pole, looking for 2 in a row, and he is back up in the fight in 3rd spot. Don't be surprised if he can take the first 2 wins of the year from this position. This is definitely a good place to be here. And that 48 car, though, he's no slouch. He has led a ton of laps tonight. 49 laps, second most to Connor Horn. He's up over 70, maybe even 80 laps tonight. As we will get the 1 to go. It is Jeff Wright and Jeremy Miller on the front row, and then Alek Martinez and Greg Wellen. And Greg Wellen he's got fresher tires than actually the rest of the top 5. So you never know. It might just work out for Greg Wellen, who has kind of ridden around towards the back for a good portion of this race. Up here in the top 5 when it counts. And it is go time for everyone now. It'll be 13 or 12 laps when we get the green here. 48 car starts to clean off a little bit of rubber from those tires, and we'll see how he gets going on this restart. We've seen a variety of different restart points as he goes early. Green flag back in the air. They check up deep in the field behind the 71 machine. That is Lane Sulfridge, sorry. And now Alek Martinez moves to second. Jeremy Miller falls to third. And this is going to get very interesting. AJ Stravato stuck behind these other cars, and he's got Cabot alongside these two on equal tires. And I don't know if they're going to be fresh enough to go up there and chase down your race leader, but Jeff Wright, he's got to be concerned. That 18 car has been nowhere since the drop of the green flag. And he is up in contention now. Just a half second behind him. And it is 10 to go at the line this time. Jeff Wright out in front. Last time by Martinez, a 10th faster than the 48. Greg Wellen also a bit faster. Jeremy Miller down on speed as we've got a big hit to the outside wall. That's Taylor Butcher Benjamin. They stack up around him, but everybody survives for the moment. The 27 up the racetrack. Here goes the one to the middle. This is not going to work. They back out of it, but a big hit for Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Let's go back real quick to what happened here, as he just didn't get the car turned and pointed. And either way, he has lost a lot of ground and not going to have a shot at this thing. The 48 car of Jeff Wright, though, he has picked up the pace once again, that time by about a 10th faster than Martinez. The gap right around a half second. Time is running out for these drivers to make their move. Top four on equal rubber, other than actually Greg Wellen. Like I mentioned, he has slightly fresher tires. But there goes another lap, 22.389, 22.384 for Alek Martinez. Not going to be enough. He needs to find a bit more than that if he wants to get there. Let's go to the front end as he starts to close in here in 3 and 4. Good run through the center, and he closes it up by about 2 car lengths. Now down the front straightaway, 6 laps to go. And that is the margin right there. The 48 out in front, 2.5 tenths, as we've got a big hit to the wall. That might have been Connor Horn. How is he back up in the fight? 1.2 seconds back. He is driving the wheels off that, 2.5 tenths faster than Jeff Wright last time by. 5 laps to go. The battle for the race lead, 1 car length the difference. And Connor Horn charging from behind, less than a second. He might have enough to get there, but he's going to have to do it the hard way. As these two nose to tail, the 18, good run out of turn 4. He gets right to the back bumper. The 48's going to go defensive. Here goes Martinez to the outside. Can he make it work? Side by side through 1 and 2. A little bit of contact. I think the 48 drifts up. Here goes the 18 off the wall. He's going to make contact. Here comes Connor Horn. He's going to look down low. The 18 throws the block. He's going to get the bumper to him, but hangs on to the race car. Connor Horn tucks his car underneath, down to the inside. He's going to take second away. And now 3 laps remaining. I think it's going to be a tough challenge for the 48 of Jeff Wright to hang on to it. Here he goes, though. Big wiggle out of turn 2. And Connor Horn all over the back bumper now. Coming to 2 to go. He's going to drive right into the back of him. The 48 up into the wall. Hangs onto it, but well, I don't want to speak too soon. He's still hung on to it. No yellow flag. Connor Horn, though, drove right through him. Didn't even try to go around. And Garrett Keat now moves to second position. He's on equal tires to Connor Horn. And these two pitted at the same exact time there during the previous caution. And that was the strategy to win the race. I think Connor Horn, white flag in the air. He drives from 15th up to the race lead in less than 10 laps. And he is looking like he's on his way to victory. But Garrett Keat, half a second back. One mistake from Connor here could do it. That car looks pretty good. A little wiggly out of the corner there. He's going to win it. Connor Horn, 2 years in a row. Going to win at Dover. What a drive from the back of the pack for both he and Garrett. Behind him, Alek Martinez, your pole sitter, not enough to win the race. He'll finish in third position. A late mistake hitting the wall. What a finish. As he gets a big bump there from the 13 of Hinton. Connor Horn in his return wins the stage and wins the race. And he is going to be a force to be reckoned with as these guys just shoving him into the inside wall here. Jeff Wright, not too happy. You can see that. He was getting held off by the 13 of Hinton, but I think he's going to exact his revenge. So Connor trying to run away here, I think. But that is definitely the case. What a drive by Connor Horn. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back with the post-race interviews.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
And we are back at the track now. Going to be bringing up our race winner here tonight. Connor Horn, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Tab 4.
Well, Connor, you returned to the league, and you put on a dominating performance here. And what a drive at the end. You drive from 15th to win the race. Talk about that, those last few laps there and getting up and winning this thing.
Yeah, I thought we were screwed. I didn't think the tire difference between me and the 18 or 48 was going to be wide enough. I got a good restart. Was able to go 3 wide on a few people with about 12 to go. Got by the 57 and I think the 75. It was really tough to get by them. They got by Jordan. Angelo, a lot of people were just staying on the bottom, and I couldn't really go anywhere. I knew if I went to the top, I was losing too much time, so I had to just move some people. I made an aggressive move on Angelo. I got under AJ pretty cleanly, and then I got the Cabot. I think it was for the 5th position. He hogged the bottom, and he was really slow in the middle, so I kind of had to put the bumper to him a few times. And then I was up to 5th. Jeremy let me by. The 94, I was able to get on the outside, and the 18 and the 48, Jeff and Alek were racing each other so hard. I caught him with about 4 to go. Jeff just kind of ran the 18 up the track into a wall, so that kind of ruined Alek's race. Then Alek, with I had a huge run on Alek, but he still wanted to block the bottom, which wasn't smart. I didn't move him out of the way, but I was pretty much prepared to. Then I had 3 laps to chase down Jeff. Did it in 2 turns. He was so slow in the center. He got very loose off of 2, and I had a big run, and he blocked the bottom, but he blocked way too hard. He took a terrible angle into 3, and when you take that type of angle into a turn on much older tires than the guy behind you, that's going to happen every single time. I mean, I didn't mean to wreck him. I definitely meant to bump him out of the way, but I didn't mean to wreck him at all. It's just he took a terrible angle. I had nothing to do with that, and I saw what happened with driving Alek into the wall. I didn't really want to do that. I didn't really want to be at risk of getting walled. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I did what I had to do, but I didn't want to wreck him. It was a bit much for sure. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy I went 15th to first. It was a wild last 12 laps.
Yeah, definitely wild, completely unexpected. I saw those two battling, figured it was just going to be between them, and then off in the distance, you see the 67 machine closing in lap after lap, and you're like, oh no, he's going to make it work, and you ended up doing so. But man, it was a battle for a lot of people out here tonight against tire wear. The high track temp really was affecting a lot of drivers getting very, very loose throughout the run. What were you doing here tonight to really combat that?
Literally just not get on the gas. It was extremely tough. I knew I was going to be loose because of how the setup was last season, and it was just it took that to another level. It was like driving with a sway bar off the car. I mean, it was really, really tough to drive. It was tough to keep on the track, and I knew saving that right rear was going to win you the race. And I saw Alek really checking up that first run to the stage. He was really checking up, and it was just all about being smooth, especially in the center and exit. You could kind of drive it a little bit on entry, but you really had to be super, super patient going through the center of the corner and on exit, because you saw Jeff every time we got new tires, he would drive off really hard through the center and gain seconds, tenths at a time, but he'd give that up on the long run. And he was giving that up on the long run because you can't wear the tire out in the center because that right rear is just going to die. So it was just a lot of throttle control. It's probably the most throttle control you'll ever have to use at a track, especially with the 1.5 mile package you have. So Dover's pretty tough to do. But I kept the right rear on it better than a decent amount of drivers, and I still had decent pace at the same time. So I'm just glad I didn't blow a tire this time.
Yeah, a few drivers definitely getting close to that. But, man, great car control tonight. Overall, you were the guy to beat. I think 76 laps led. Out of the 130 run or 150 run tonight, so over half the laps. So you get those bonus points. We go to Talladega, which is, it's a roll of the dice, I think, generally. But what are your thoughts on going out there?
Just have to see what happens. I like laying back at the super speedways. I got teammates there, so I'll probably do what they do, or maybe they'll do what I do because I like laying back. Really, the only times you have to be at the front, especially at super speedways, are at the stage end and final lap. So we'll see what kind of strategy we can muster up for that. But just another race, really. Just got to weather the storm when it's a track like Dega.
Yes, sir, indeed. That is definitely the case there. But you take home the victory tonight in race 2 of the VRL Cup Series. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's victory?
Mainly my teammates. Jeremy Miller, he got caught up in a wreck, and he still got 12th. He really recovered well. Yusuf Ghali, I think it was going to be between me and him, but I think his power went out. He lives in Texas, so hope he's safe there. It would have been a great battle between us. Eli Hitton, he had a great run up to 5th. It could have been me and him battling for the win as well. It was a really fun race up through the field with him. Ben Baffert, he was in the chat as well. He's always helping us out, and just a sort of a fun race. At the same time, it was very, very tough. So I'm just glad I came out of it with I could still feel my arm, so that's a good sign, because my arms are wearing out on that 50-lap run. So I guess it's good that we didn't get that long of a run to the end. Although I do wish we could have raced it out, me, Adam, Jeff, on older tires instead of just being a tire lottery. But when you have tire sets like that, they come into play. Tire lottery is always going to happen. So I'm just glad we were able to somehow win it this time.
Yes, sir, and congrats on taking that victory, weathering the storm, and taking your first win of the year. We'll catch you next week at Talladega.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. That is race winner Connor Horn. Let's go to second, Garrett Keat, who also made his way through the field. Garrett, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Garrett, you had a pretty fantastic run here tonight. You start 17th. You do lead a lap here tonight, and you drove up through the field right there behind Connor Horn. Not quite enough to get the win, but man, you were there fighting for it at the end. Give us a rundown of your race and how you felt you did tonight.
I pretty bad qualifying performance. Had to start way in the back, 17th, and just first stage, I saved my tires really well and got up into the top 5. I can't quite remember where I finished the stage at. And was feeling pretty good there, and then cycled through the pits and came out, and we started that second run, and then it became a little bit of a caution fest, and I could never really get out to the front, and I felt like if I could get out front and be in front of everybody, I could hold them off, but it was just hard once the tires started going to really make any moves on people, so kind of got stuck in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th range for a long time there. And then there at the end, I saved a set of tires in the pits and came down that last caution and got them and just flew through the field as fast as possible. Me and Connor did that, so I think that was the winning strategy. Just couldn't quite get in front of them.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it may not have been a strategy that was going to work out, but the way that you guys just tore through there, obviously it was the way to go. Was there any kind of when did you make that decision to pit there? Or was it just like a kind of spur of the moment, or were you planning on that when that caution came out?
Well, the second to last caution, I stayed on the track because I thought track position would work out in my favor a little bit better there, because like I said, I couldn't quite get Pat to the front, and I was thinking if I stayed out, maybe got in front, it'd be hard for them to pass me, and I'd be able to hold on to it possibly, but I never got out front, and the 48 had ran us down, and he was on fresh tires, and I knew then once that last caution came out that we were going to have to take tires here or we were going to get steamrolled by the entire field. So it was more out of necessity. I didn't want to pit. I felt like at the time that was not it wasn't going to turn out good for me, but I was able to go as fast as I could, and it worked out pretty well, even though I thought it wouldn't.
Yes, sir, definitely worked out. You come home second, and we go to Talladega next week. So what are your thoughts on that track?
I think it's just going to be survival like it usually is. Those are always really unpredictable races. You can do something, you can do absolutely nothing wrong and have your day ended by somebody, a second ahead of you who accidentally slides up and left rear somebody or whatever it may be. So it's just going to be try to survive and be there at the end and hope you can miss the big one.
Yeah, definitely important to miss that one there, but we'll see if you can follow up with a second place run tonight. Really, really strong performance here at Dover. Anybody want to give a shout out to for the runner-up?
I just want to say thank you to Reggie for putting on this league. He does a great job.
Awesome, Garrett. Well, thanks for taking some time here after the race, and congrats on runner-up. We'll catch you next week at Talladega.
Thank you.
All right, that is Garrett Keat, the number 8 machine, finishing in in second, and going to third now. We're going to pull up Alek Martinez. Alek, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, Alek, you started on the pole and you dropped like a rock, but it looked like by design, and man, you were almost there in contention, fighting for it at the end, and just a little bit short, but another podium finish for you here. Give us a rundown of the race and kind of your strategy throughout.
In practice, I was doing some long runs, and thought that the setup was pretty loose, and I don't know if you guys saw on the broadcast, but we were wheeling it, man. That was a ton of fun. But with the way the right rear wore out, you needed to drop, Rick Ware Racing to, have a good right rear. And we did, and I did as much as I could, and tried to save, and it worked. And then I trying to get up the field, kind of burned it off. Got, I think, one stage point. And it's just that was fun. But another podium, it doesn't hurt. And then, from what happened in the race, sped in pit road, went to the back, and tried all kinds of different strategies to get some more track. And then, hey, it worked. So can't complain.
Yeah, definitely a good recovery. And thanks for bringing up the penalty. I had kind of forgotten it was so early in the race, and so many things happened after that. And it seemed like you were buried through the field, but you got up there when it mattered, and pitting a little bit earlier than those guys did right at the very end obviously did pay off in terms of gaining some track position. But man, it was a handful for everybody, like you said. What were you doing really to save the tires, other than really backing off from what we could see?
Pretty much little wheel input and a little bit of throttle. As much as you could. Kind of like what Kevin Harvick used to do in the Atlanta race back in the day when they had the low downforce package. Kind of just back it off, and you can be on the throttle. But except this was just not Atlanta and taken to a way further extent within the corner. So, it was just all about being consistent as you could with throttle control and wheel inputs, and being easy with it, and hoping the tires came to you once, and hoping the run went on, that your tires would start mattering, start digging through the field.
Yep. Yeah, and that definitely was the case. That early run, you went from, I think it was about 14th, 15th, and essentially almost did what Connor did at the very end. By you came up, I think, up to third or second, and then it looked like you had nothing left. But definitely a heck of a run for you here tonight, and we go to Talladega next week.
Oh boy!
You think you can carry on the success you've had in these first two races?
You know what? I hope. Got to be working with the teammates there. Stay out of trouble, stay out of the big one, and anything could happen. It's Talladega. She an upset winner. Everything. Crazy finish, wild racing, crazy moves, aggressive moves, all of the above for Talladega. And I think we're gonna try to put on the best show we can there. And you know what? If we can get another one, that'd be nice. Another podium would be great to talk to you guys again. But you know what? Just see what happens when we get there next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see if you can get another podium and continue this streak. Great way to start the season here with another third place finish. You do start on the pole and lead 2 laps on the way to your podium. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Reggie Ortega, Elliott Butler, Mark Emerson, and Reggie Ortega for running this league. You guys for doing the broadcast. All my teammates, Angelo Ronas, Jordan Ashland, and Mark Emerson for being there, so I have somebody to talk to during the race. So that's pretty much it. All you guys, all you viewers out there that are spending your time watching us, watching the broadcast. We try to put on a good show for you guys, and we hope we did today. And trust me, we'll put on a good show for you guys on at Talladega next Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Definitely exciting tonight. Thanks for putting on a show for us here, Alek, and we'll catch you next week.
Hey, thank you, Adam.
All right, that was Alek Martinez, third place finisher, but once again, your race winner, Connor Horn. Bit of a controversial finish, I would say, but definitely an exciting one. Nonetheless, let's go to the rest of the field and the full results and race recap. We had a total of 7 cautions here, the 1 for the stage and then 6 for accidents. A lot of those kind of coming back to back. We had a few nice long green flag runs. The whole first stage was green flag. That was over 50 laps. So definitely some good racing by these guys tonight. And Connor Horn takes home the victory tonight at Dover. Second year in a row he does so. Behind him it is Garrett Keat in the number 8 machine. Alek Martinez finishes in third. Fourth was Angelo Ronas. Fifth was Eli Hinton. Sixth was Jeff Wright, who was leading with about 2 or 3 to go. and he got hit by the 67, sent into the wall, and still able to finish in the top 10. Adam Cabot finishes in 7th here tonight. AJ Stravato, 8th position. 9th was Joe Stafford, and rounding out the top 10 was Jordan Ashland. In 11th position, it was Greg Wellen. 12th, Jeremy Miller. 13th, Eric Hutton. 14th, Safe Ferris. 15th, Caleb Hattery. 16th, Jeremiah Vincent. 17th, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. 18th, Keith Mayato. 19th was Lane Sulfridge. Rounding out the top 20 was Lyle Sulfridge. All those drivers on the lead lap. In 21st, first car off the lead lap, Eddie Trejo, 2 laps down. Dylan Parker, with his connection problems, he ends up 8 laps down in 22nd after leading a few laps early. And Elliott Butler finishes 23rd. Marcus Emerson, 24th. And Yusuf Ghali, he lost power or connection, but had a pretty good race going. He finishes in 25th position here tonight. And that is going to do it for our broadcast here. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. You won't want to miss that race from Charlotte. It's going to be a lot of fun. A night race over there at Charlotte. So tune on in for that. Those guys getting closer and closer to the playoffs, and things starting to matter more and more. You can find us on all these different social media outlets if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week. You can find announcements on Facebook and Twitter, and you can also follow along on YouTube, Instagram, and right here on Twitch as well. If you did enjoy, please consider following or subscribing. It does help us a lot. You can also find us at vspeedsim.com. You can learn more about the different services we offer, including broadcasting, custom design work, including 2D and 3D design, custom merchandise, and much, much more. Check us out there, vspeedsim.com. And we are going to jump in with the folks at eRacer GG, who are putting on the Car Anomaly event, a big event going on tonight. So go enjoy that. I think it's being put on by Landon Castle and Parker Kligerman. So it should be a lot of fun. And thanks again for tuning in tonight, and we'll catch you tomorrow evening.